Hey folks, it's Cliff here with Justin.
Hi.
And we're starting a few minutes early because we saw people were already hanging out and waiting for us. But in the meantime, we're going to actually start properly at 7, so we're just going to sort of hang out and chat with you guys until then. Can everybody see everyone? Any problems? Some kind of weird shadowy thing going on here for me, which I'm going to try and fix because I didn't notice it. Never mind. Where are you?
Oh, I look hideous.
Oh, you don't look hideous. Well, okay, any hideouser than we're used to. So, yeah, I've got a really bad dark spot on like shadow, but oh well.
We need a side light.
We have one. It's just not plugged in properly right now. Blinding will that be?
Not too bad.
Not bad at all, actually.
No.
Hey, Junbi.
That's me.
I know, I just realized that. Such a nerd.
Oh, yes.
He's on the stream, he's chatting, he's doing everything, right? You think he was in charge of programming or something?
No.
Yeah.
I'm managing programming or something. That's how that works, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes. That is not at all how that works. All right. Oh, that was the one thing I didn't open up here. Let's do that right now quickly before I forget.
So that we can see ourselves without having to What's Junmi looking at? It's over here.
He's over there. We've been debating getting a wireless webcam and strapping it to the head of Frank, the pug, so that we can do live pug streams and just have him follow him.
I like that.
I think it'd be awesome. Schedule is what I want, right? Yeah, there we go. We will look at the...
You could do grid, you could do expand, and then you can see it that way.
I'm just trying to find it.
There could be a drop-down menu at the top left that'll say you can choose simple
Schedule. Okay, I went into schedule, not programming. That would be why I couldn't find it. The full schedule can be found here. All right, folks, it is 7 o'clock. We're going to get this show on the road. So let's, as always, start off with a bit of an introduction of the roundtable. I am Cliff, one of your hosts. I use he, him pronouns. Across from me is...
Justin?
And beside him is...
Colin, he, him.
All right. So a couple quick things of note. Where to find us. You can find us at Games from the North on a variety of places nowadays. All right, never mind. So that's not going to work on side screen then. All right. So I had the two screens side by side so I could see everything. I need to print this out. Our friends at 40 Below Gaming sent us their production script for their shows to have a look at, and we're trying it out tonight. It works great. I just didn't print it thinking I could do it on the computer because I'm a dope some days. And It is not working as well as I'd hoped. All right, so where you can find us. You can find us on all the major social medias. Facebook, we're Games from the North. Instagram, we're Games from N. Twitter, we are Games from the N. And coming soon, you'll find us on YouTube, and we're also setting up a Discord for our channel as well. Please feel free to check that out. And once it's up and running, we'll be spamming the link everywhere. Take a minute if you haven't done so already. Click on the little heart and follow us on Twitch so that you will know when we are on and you can join in the conversation. So, today's big discussion is about Keycon programming. You may have seen us last week when we talked about Keycon with 3 of the 4 con chairs, and the 4th one was lurking and hiding in the chat room. Oddly enough, some of the other con chairs didn't even know that she was there. Right, so let's talk directly with you, Colin. You're the guy behind all of those programming things. What is happening? What should we expect?
Oh, lordy. Okay, that's such a loaded question.
It really is. That's why I asked it.
We've been working pretty diligently. I would say, like, really trying to hammer in a semi-concrete schedule since January. And as always, there's like last-minute fires to put out, and we managed to actually even change a few scheduling items earlier today. Winnipeg Public Library is confirming their
makers.
Yeah, makerspace discussion panel. Basically, they have a presentation for that, and I really just lost the name.
Look it up.
Makerspace?
No, it's Idea Mill.
Idea Mill. That was it.
Yeah. Yes. But yeah, like my hope.
Apparently, they call it the Idea Mill.
Yes.
Someone named Delaney.
Delinea.
Let's call her Delaney because that's a better name right now. Is happy to help you and correct you, it seems. I don't know how she knows all of this.
I don't know either.
I don't either.
Yeah, the hope is that when you go to Keycon, you will see a schedule and you'll be able to go hour to hour and decide what do I want to attend, what's most interesting to me, and then hopefully the complaint that we get is there was too much programming. I couldn't go to all the panels I wanted to go to, but that's fine. If there's too much programming and you have to take a break or that you had to choose between one or the other, that's fine. The complaint we don't want to get is all the panels I wanted to see were all in the same hour. And finding a nice flow for people to find their interests is a fun part of the job.
It can be a nightmare, as speaking as someone who's tried to do it in the past. The other fun comment you'll get is, why couldn't you have put all the programming items that I wanted to see in the same room so I didn't have to move? We were actually told that one year when I did programming.
I can answer that one.
Yeah, because I didn't want you to sit on your butt all day.
That's how people die, man.
Yeah.
you want to get up. You got to move around. You got to socialize with your peers, and especially with Keycon being what it is, it's a social convention. You should be getting up. You should be walking around. You should see people. You should get involved in the LARP that's happening. You should get involved with the quest giver, whoever that may be.
We'll talk about quest giver stuff later. We have lots of new updates for you on quest giver stuff and some cool things to show you as well.
Yeah. So like, for a lot of people, Friday is probably going to go like this. They're going to go to their potentially the newbie dinner that Laurie Smith is graciously hosting with the hotel, and then they'll probably go to opening ceremonies, meet the guests of honor at the ice cream social, and then for quite a few people, they'll probably go to the grand sing along. But there are a lot of other things happening during those times too. I believe River City. No, was it River City Jedi on Friday or is it Sons of Low? I think it's Sons of Low actually. Sons of Low is doing a Viking demonstration shortly after that, for example. And there's
maybe Delinea can delineate some information and let us know because she's probably got the grid up in front of her.
You're making fun of her name, jeez.
Oh my god, I'm making fun of someone's name? And I wasn't making fun of it, I was delineating.
Well, I'm gonna play an old Uno Reversian. What have you seen for the convention that interests you guys? Like
Programming wise?
Yeah.
For myself, okay, as someone who's seen a lot of different dimensions and everything, I haven't really looked too closely at the grid. And I probably won't until sometime tomorrow afternoon, maybe Thursday, maybe Friday in the afternoon, because a lot of my time has been busy stamping out buttons, printing out buttons, taking pictures of things that we're giving away as prizes. The one thing that I am curious about is Kevin Doc Wilson's LARP.
Yes.
From what I've seen, and I haven't read much about it, it's kind of a B-list superheroes type.
I think C-list
C-list
is more likely. Yeah. From like, I was pestering him a bit about like, okay, so we've got a LARP that's allegedly happening, and everything's kind of up in the air. Can you get me a description by this day? And he said, I might be just making up something. Let me get back to you. And then he came back to me with what he's got, which honestly, from what it sounds like, yeah, it sounds like it's going to be a lot of fun. There's a 101 panel leading up to the actual LARP. And the 101 panel, I think, is not just his panel, not just explaining the almost super LARP. It's also kind of what do you expect from a LARP. So if you've never done live action role playing, that would be your intro. And Doc is amazing and definitely will be able to give people a very good perspective on that.
So I just brought up the grid, but we've got Almost Super starting at 8 o'clock with some character building stuff happening at 9. And then we've got the Sons of Lu Viking demonstration happening at 8 o'clock. Are the two things that are... The two things that we've mentioned. There's also some art panel stuff going on, and a purity test starting at 11 and 12.
Yes, Lee Amber's purity test is, I think, a Keycon staple at this point. It's like an annual event.
It's a fairly annual event.
And it's supposed to be I think it's a sex-positive purity test. It's not meant to be 18 only. It's the idea is simply to... God, I haven't been to one in like... a lot of years. I've actually forgotten most of what happens in it.
It's been a long time. Generally, from what I recall from last year, she talks about, does a quick sex positive talk about the importance of consent and everything else. Because, let's face it, we're a bunch of people in a hotel. Things can happen. And we want to make sure that everyone's doing it safely. It wasn't intended to be a pun, but it really was. And then I don't know what version of the purity test she does. I don't generally do them anymore for personal reasons. But they're probably around 100-point questionnaire. I know at one point there was a special Keycon edition one made that was done. Delineate has informed us that it is, he's calling it Building a Better Cheeseburg.
Yes.
Thank you for the update. So there's that. That's Friday. You were turning it on me. What am I looking forward to? I haven't seen the grid. Other than what I'm looking at right now and talking to you. Have you looked at it at all, Justin?
No, I have not.
This is your
first. Be my first one. So
this is his very first
I don't know what to expect. I went on YouTube. I was telling Cliff earlier. I went on YouTube and checked some Keycon stuff, but it still didn't help too much. Well, it helped a bit, but I was just like, so it'll be interesting.
Yeah, the big thing is for especially for a lot of people who are going for the first time or got sucked into it or whatever. What is Keycon? And looking on YouTube, you
can't tell.
It's hard to tell.
Yeah.
And you look deep enough into YouTube, you find a picture of or a video of Wolfgang stripping to sweet transvestite, I think.
Probably.
But so I was going there somewhere with that, but I lost that.
Apparently, Wolfgang stripping to street transvestite will cause people to lose things.
But ultimately, for programming, for what I want to see, I think with my programming account, I took a checklist on Sketch and checked off my ideal list of what I want to go see. I'm really happy that we have, I think, 3 podcasts happening during the convention.
Okay, I know we're going Saturday 4 to 6, right?
Yeah.
Meet the Geeks is Saturday morning.
Yeah. And then Saturday afternoon, I think at 2, is Ballad of the Seven Dice, which is a group of yeah. And I think they're doing a Mad Max themed roleplay session.
Cool.
So that should be really.
Try and pop that in.
I'm really excited for that. I've been in constant communication with Lucas, so I'm really hoping that that I get to go to that. And well, I have to be there before they get there because I've got to help them set them up the tech a little bit to make sure everything goes smoothly. And then after that, yeah, I hope to just sit down and just enjoy because I'm looking forward to that one.
So, just to talk about streaming at the con, because I know we're doing it too. Do we know how's the con Wi-Fi this year, or the hotel Wi-Fi?
You know, I'm not sure.
Not sure.
Not
okay.
sure either. I remember when the Wi-Fi was first, when like 10 years ago, I'd say when the hotel-wide Wi-Fi became a thing, it was bad. It was really bad. The last couple of years, I haven't noticed a problem. And I think this year they changed up something when it came to like meeting space having their own dedicated Wi-Fi.
Okay.
So,
or even something to wire in instead.
I don't know about wire.
Oh, okay.
But I do know that they have like multiple types of Wi-Fi now. So it'll be interesting to see how that affects things. Like, I think the boardroom has their own Wi-Fi, and I think the other meeting spaces have a Wi-Fi.
Okay.
And then there's the hotel-wide one. So here's hoping that it's all really good. Otherwise, people are going to be using a lot of data.
Yeah. We just have a quick question here. And I'm going to field this one because we kind of covered it in the last podcast. We covered it completely wrong when we had the con shows on, and I apologize for this, folks. There will not be a vampire LARP at this. There will, however, be a the superhero LARP that's happening Friday night. Just Friday night?
When I talked to the doc, I said, "Do you need other nights?" So what I think is going to happen is, if play goes well and they're having a lot of fun, I'm pretty sure there's some openings later in the evening in specific areas like Terrace East on Saturday night, and then Sunday, no, but because Sunday night is the end of the con. But there's space available, and they can just decide, hey, we're going to continue here. Which actually is a great segue into
Pop-up programming.
Yeah, bring your own panels is what I wrote down. I'm going to be putting up a poster near Reg, I think, and it's just going to have a list of numbers and a basic set of rules for bringing your own panel. Basically, you take a look at the grid. If you see a big open space in a room, usually things like during the masquerade or in the evenings, and you had this discussion with people and you're like, you know what, we want to continue this discussion, or you had this great idea and you want to be able to advertise it. And this is great because we're 2 days from the con, so if you had an idea and you weren't able to get to me, or you weren't able to like fit it in programming, but you have this awesome idea and you want to advertise and put up a poster somewhere and say, we're going to do this and make it dynamic, that's what a BYOP panel is for. So you can like just bring what you have. There's some basic rules: no hateful speech, no pay panels for BYOPs. And there was the third one. Oh, I think you have to like badge for adult content if you're going to.
Yeah. So we've had some comments from the audience. Delinea is excited for the Randy Rainbow panel, the sing along, and Lee Moyer's infamously famous Bad Book cover show, and the MCU GOT discussions, which I assume Game of Thrones.
Yeah.
Luna Child is excited for the 2020 casting call. I wonder why she's excited for that, folks. I think there might be a bit of a vested interest coming from one of the con chairs, but we're excited for it too. And Prophetess K is excited for... well, she doesn't know what Randy Rainbow is, so Colin, why don't you explain that one? Do you know that one off the top of your head?
The Randy Rainbow panel?
Yeah.
So Randy Rainbow is I want to say a politically leftist YouTuber that does comedy musical skits. Okay. So I think Lori is planning on showing a few of the skits and then discussing how abrasive it is, or how much it is, if it's too much, so to speak. I had to do the air quotes.
Did the air quotes?
I think is the general idea, and yeah, like for me, Randy Rainbow is a interesting political figure. It's not my cup of tea because it is a little out there in terms of like how, but I appreciate the lyrics and I appreciate the parody music of it all.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. I'm also running a couple of panels this year.
Well, plug yours.
Mine are pretty straightforward. I'm running one with one of the con chairs on how to run a con suite because while programming is my current job this year, I've also run something like 7 years worth of con suites. And I have a vast amount of information regarding that. And I want to see more people run their own clubs. And we can provide info on how to do that.
For people who don't know, what's a con suite?
So a convention suite is effectively also known as a party room at other conventions. In Keycon currently, we take over the entire 15th floor of the Radisson Hotel. And all of those rooms typically get rented out by volunteers who decorate and design their rooms in their own theme, how they want, and open up to members of the convention.
It's actually kind of a unique thing for Keycon, and
we've seen them at
CoreCon in Fargo and
ValleyCon.
ValleyCon does it, but I think that has a lot to do with the connection between the three conventions and the closeness in geography.
Okay.
If you go down like to the Twin Cities and further away, you see less and less of it.
Oh.
I know when I used to go to MiniCon years ago, the Twin Cities, which was one of the Twin Cities cons, there was some amount of decorating, but not like all of the suites. Some of them were it was a hotel room with pillows and food, right? So we've kind of asked all of our Keycon guests about this. What is your favorite con memory?
My favorite con memory?
Your favorite con memory. That's PG-13. Just throwing that on there in case you didn't realize that was a requirement.
Oh, gosh. You know what? Honestly, I think the first year that I did the Find Your Match card game, I made a bunch of stupid blobs, and it was one of the years that Leanna Kay was there, and we were running the Awesome Room, and I was like, and all the other staff people that we had in our room were like just kind of in the room, and I was like, okay, I'm gonna start the blob thing, and they were like, they didn't hear me or didn't pay attention. So the idea was I had a bunch of cards. They all had a matching similar card, and it was basically a deck of 64 cards. So I handed out these cards to people. I said, find your match, and I just went down the hallway of 15 and went down to the 12th floor and started handing them out during the social. And before I could leave the social, I had Leanna Kay and a gaggle of other followers because I very foolishly put Find Your Match and Bring It to 1504 or Captain Awesome.
Uh-oh.
That was a mistake. So I had this rush of people go up to me and go, I found my match. What do I do with it now? I go to 15 because I forgot about that part. And then I get up to 15 so that we could, dole out prizes for finding your match. And I had a bunch of very bewildered staff saying, "What do we do?" Because
what's happening?
They forgot. It was super good though, and a lot of people had a lot of fun, just finding somebody new. And then it was supposed to be kind of a click breaker because I deliberately separated the cards in a way that you would not be paired up with your friend. So you had to find your match and learn one thing about them and tell us about that, and then you got a prize. It was
nice,
very straightforward, but it was a lot of fun, and I'm hopeful it made like a new friendship.
You know what? I remember that event, and I remember multiple people coming up to me and asking me, "What's your card?" I was like, "What are you talking about?" I had no idea because I wasn't in one of the. I guess you and I hadn't crossed paths, so I didn't end up with a card.
Yeah,
and I mean, there's a lot of people at Keycon. It's bound to happen. But I had a ton of people. Where's your card? What are you talking about? They're like, "Oh, you don't have one. Never mind. Bye." And they rushed off to go and find their match. Right. Any tips for a first-time Condor like Justin? Let's throw Justin here.
Okay.
If you are using the grid to figure out your programming, just note that if you're going down the list hour by hour, you have not given yourself time to go to the bathroom. You have not given yourself time to find food. You have not given yourself time for just a rest. So plan that in your schedule. And also the fear of missing out, the FOMO, is real at the con. It is very, very nerve-wracking to think, oh God, I'm not going to all these things. What am I missing out on? Do not panic when it comes to the convention. The convention will probably still be around for years to come, and you can do more stuff next year. And if you find enough stuff where you do feel like you missed out on something, it's more of a good reason to come back.
Sounds good.
Okay.
Oh, right. Delinea pointed out the dramatic reading of the breathalyzer test during the Dead Dog. That was amusing. We had a breathalyzer test in our room, and nobody could pass a breathalyzer test at that point. So we decided that a dramatic reading of the instructions on how to use it, because it was also in like really bad English, was absolutely necessary, and it was good. I think we have a recording of it at home.
Those are always good to have. Evidence. Evidence is important to have. Now, we did mention it earlier on, but Dames from the North will be streaming live a Geek Chat Saturday from 4 to 6. Somewhere in there, we will have some swag, a lot of buttons to give away, and some other stuff to give away.
Are we giving out the dice?
No, the Tord dice aren't being given out till the end of the show. But I do have not the end of the show, but until the end of the adventure.
Okay.
But we do have a box of Tord, a package of Tord dice that we will be giving out to anyone who's listed as a follower on our feed as of the end of the Godbots adventure, which I think has another month or so left in it, maybe a little more depending on timing. Also, speaking of that, we will not be streaming tomorrow night. There's just too much con prep going on, and we'll remind you of that at the end of the show and tomorrow on Facebook. But we hope to see you on Saturday, 4 to 6, or sometime in there to join us for a live stream and live chat. Topics for that show are still being discussed. All right. So let's jump ahead, and since we've got you here anyways, we're going to keep you and talk about Avengers.
Oh, Avengers was I think a satisfying conclusion. Are we going Spoilerville? I can't remember now.
All right. Hey, Shadow Phoenix 409. Welcome to the chat. Okay, so before we go any further here, we have just finished talking about Keycon 36 programming. If you still have questions about that, throw them on the chat. We'll add them at the end of the show when we circle back around. But for now, we're going to talk Avengers Endgame. Spoilers. The Russo brothers have lifted the spoiler ban, i.e. they knew when the Spider-Man trailer was coming out, and they figured just put it out there and let people know. So we are going to be talking about it with spoilers, okay? So if you have not seen this, mute your show, turn down your radio, turn down your audio. When we're back, I will wave like an idiot to make sure you know that we're back. Maybe all of us will wave together. And you can come back and join us at that point, and not have to hear the spoilers.
The movie was a blur. I know nothing.
I know. There was a movie? What? No. What do people think? I loved it. I have a lot of questions. I have a lot of disappointments. I have some excitements. And
I was really... I hadn't seen anything about the Hulk being the amalgamation, the like therapied Hulk.
The Professor Hulk is actually the technical term.
Okay.
Yeah.
I was really appreciative of that. I liked the amalgamation because it really brought a nice level of acting chops to the Hulk.
I thought so too. I really liked that aspect of it, and I liked how they did it. I thought
I saw this absolute win.
I would have. I think I would have preferred to have seen the Grey Hulk from the comic.
Oh,
Which is just kind of it was a very similar to Professor Hulk. Just he was more of a street thug. In a lot of ways, he was kind of like an enforcer type character. But I think Professor Hulk made more sense for the way the MCU went.
For your viewers, I am a fake geek. I haven't read any comics to save my life.
That doesn't make you a fake geek. I've been a comic book reader for years, so and I still to this day pick them up and go from there. Right.
Mm-hmm.
The one thing I've been. What about you? What are your thoughts, Justin? What was your
on the movie?
Favorite? Yeah, on the movie. On your favorite part?
I thought it was interesting, like how you got to like when they went back in time. They're just kind of seeing how the Avengers were like mistreating like the Hulk and all that. They're like, take the stairs. And all that.
That was bad.
Yeah, but it was pretty good. Otherwise, kind of saddening with a couple of deaths there, but I guess it was needed. But like once again, I never read the comics, so
okay.
Yeah.
I mean, the deaths I think were their own storyline, right, and their own choice of how they went with them.
Yeah.
The second they chose to go to Vermont, I was like, here we go again.
Someone's dying here. Although I did like how they brought Gamora back.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So now you've got this Star-Lord who's in a relationship with this woman who has was in a relationship.
Actually, that was one thing somebody mentioned to me. Because I went to the theater and one of my coworkers was also in the theater. I waved at him and he didn't see me, but and that's okay.
In fairness, you just waved at him again and he probably didn't see you this time too.
But he mentioned how he was annoyed that they just got rid of Gamora like that. I'm like, wait a second, did she get dusted at the end?
No.
Was she in the ship at the end?
She's alive. Yeah, she's still alive.
Okay.
So Gamora was dusted at the end of Infinity Wars.
Yeah.
Or sorry,
no, she
was thrown off the cliff.
Yeah,
and that they have flat out said is irreversible.
Yeah.
And now you've got this time travel forward Gamora.
Yeah.
Who doesn't have any of the memories of that she's developed with Star-Lord, right?
Yeah.
In my mind, that's so. Thor in the part 3 of Guardians of the Galaxy is going to be a really interesting dynamic for that storyline, right?
Yeah, for some reason I had forgotten that last little bit if she was still on the ship because and that's why my coworker was like, "Oh, I'm sad that they got rid of Gamora again like that." I'm like, "Wait, they did?" And you know what? And logically, that would have made sense because Iron Man didn't know Gamora was good or bad at all. So it would have made sense that if he just snapped, he would have just accidentally snapped her out too.
Yeah. No, in this particular, just your heroes commenting here that they all had good send-offs, but just that she died in Infinity and the time travel one has come back, which is kind of what we were going with it.
Yeah.
I guess there's 2 Nebulas now, though, right? Or did she?
No, they killed one. They blasted one.
They killed the bad one.
They killed the bad one, or the old.
Oh, okay.
Well, they killed.
Oh yeah, right.
They killed the past one,
the alt one, and then the new one disguised herself as the past one. I think for a little while and such.
Okay.
So,
yeah.
I think hands down for me, my favorite moment in the movie that just had me cheering was when Steve Rogers leaned forward and whispered "Hail Hydra." That was such an amazing comic book moment. That was literally newsworthy.
Delinia and I laughed our asses off, and our theater was quiet. And we're like, "What? Wait, what? Did you not get it?
Did you not hear that?"
and I like that was also partially topical of the comics where I mean, the entire recent arc is involving
one of the huge recent arcs is Captain America being a Hydra agent.
Yeah, and so I was like, I wonder how much they're alluding to that, or if they're just doing it just because it's fitting because he knows, so he's able to do that.
Oh, hold on, we got the number one. Someone's saying their number one Cap moment is when he picked up the hammer.
Yeah.
Having him grab the hammer and literally, I think at one point he actually does the hammer flip.
Yeah.
It was That was just awesome.
Yeah.
I know I clapped and cheered.
I got chills from the big, like, here's our army back. We're all back, you guys. And you got to think, okay, so Doctor Strange had millions and millions and millions of alternate futures. He was planning this whole.
Oh yeah.
If everyone gets back, I'm making all the sick portals.
Yeah. The one thing that I noticed that kind of I actually felt was a little bit of a disappointment was you've got this awesome moment that could have happened in the film but didn't. Early on in the movie, you have Tony Stark giving Cap his I'm done. Here's my chess piece filled with nanobots, right, that are damaged and whatnot. So then you've got everyone down. You've got Thor's down. You've got Cap, Tony Stark is down.
Yeah.
And you've got Cap with a broken shield, and Thor's hammer trying to fight off Thanos. All he needed was that the nanobots to reactivate. He could have had like a partial Iron Man suit going on. The nanobots could have literally rebuilt his shield, and it could have been Cap is the one Avenger. That's the one we need, right?
Yeah.
But no, they never went back to that. It was sad.
Yeah, it was overall. Like I said, it was a fantastic send off, and it had a lot behind it to get to that point.
Yeah.
And so it was just satisfying in that sense. It was just enough. Fan service is no longer the word you want to use, but it was a good send off. People were expecting certain things and got that. It just tied it up nicely.
I think it honored what the fans needed and wanted. I'm getting a little tired of Facebook popping up, or my phone popping up with, you might be interested in this Avengers Endgame article. You might be interested in this one. They are getting a little annoying.
Yes.
But all things considered, there were some unanswered questions that I really had in the end. How could, you've got Peter Dinklage's character, the giant dwarf from the last movie, who's like a master magical builder who built this amazing gauntlet for Thanos. But, Tony Stark and Hulk, Professor Hulk knocked one out for, a little while, right? So it was like, what? Really? Not only did he knock one out, they knocked one out in a gauntlet form that would adjust size and fit like some sort of D&D magical item.
That is my biggest complaint with what Tony Stark had become, because he is the epitome of Marvel's power creep.
Yeah.
Like, the starting Iron Man had flaws, had issues. Oh, I'm gonna fix it because I know something big bad is coming. Okay, Iron Man 2. Oh yeah, I gotta fix this because something big bad's coming. Avengers is happening. Oh, something big bad's happening. I gotta fix this.
Need a new suit of armor.
And then and it got to the point where he was like, okay, I've got nanotech. What?
Yeah.
You are a tech wizard, and you're just
Okay, as someone who doesn't read the comics, I'll give you this one. In the comics, the extremist stuff that you see in Iron Man 3, he ends up injecting himself with extremists.
Oh.
And the nanobots that you see that live in his chest plate actually live in hollowed out bones in his body. It's weird sort of storyline, but he literally is wearing his armor the whole time after extremists and controls it all by thought, pretty much. He just says, I want my armor on, and his armor just sort of flows out of his skin and forms. It was an amazingly interesting story arc that still talked a lot about terrorism and stuff like that, but it was just a really fascinating story. Yes, they do have that as an animated comic. You are correct. Your Hero. It wasn't bad either, actually. One of Marvel's better comic animation versions. Let me just jump back to my script here and see what we've got going. And what do you... anything you wanted to comment on Avengers?
Sorry, Justin.
No,
We've been
it's
looking
okay.
up.
I'm just trying to bring him in, right?
Yeah. No. I don't think so.
Okay.
Like a couple of you already answered before, like when Captain America came back, all old and stuff, and I was like, I thought like, oh, instead of doing that, well, he did the mission that he was supposed to do, but like he's like oh, I lived my life kind of thing how I wanted to, and I was like, I kind of thought that was a little, what's the word? Greedy of him almost, but not quite.
I thought he earned it personally.
Yeah. But I guess you just find out now that he wasn't able to stay young from the transformation.
I don't.
Maybe he did something different, and
I think that might have something more to do with the whole alternate timeline theory that's going around and stuff. There's a lot of sort of unanswered questions around that whole moment, right? Yeah, one person said he kissed his wife's future granddaughter. Yeah, that was kind of creepy. Now that you look back at it, I mean,
that was his grand.
In Civil War, Peggy, not Peggy, Sharon Carter, is his now wife's granddaughter. So yeah, would that be temporal incest? I don't want to think about that, actually. Now that we talked about that, let's just not go there.
And I think, I don't know, I can't remember when they had the funeral for. It was just mainly for Tony Stark, not for.
Yeah, it was totally for Tony.
Yeah,
right. There was no mention of Black Widow dying at all, right?
According to the behind the scenes, that scene was filmed first, and they were told it was a wedding. That's why if you look at Parker, he's smiling sort of like this, and you could see that being kind of holding it back type of thing, but. They were told wedding.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised.
Really? When they had to shoot it?
Yeah.
Oh, Jesus.
Yeah.
I was reading some other behind-the-scenes stuff. Mark Ruffalo and Tom Holland do not get copies of the script. The only two actors I read, from what I read, the only two actors that got a full copy of the script in advance were Robert Downey Jr. and Chris Evans. Are the only two. Tom Holland and Mark Ruffalo get severely redacted copies of the script, something that you'd see on a Mueller report. And they also apparently only get them a little bit in advance. They are, as Shadow Phoenix commented, they are so bad at spoilers. I mean, Mark Ruffalo streamed the first 20 minutes of one movie at one point. Or, sorry, was it Tom? One of them did that.
Yeah, in a pocket, right?
And he had pocket dialed and video streamed the first 20 minutes of one of his movies to Instagram or Twitter or something.
Oh my god.
It was insanely ridiculous.
I heard something about the actor who plays Spider-Man. He was spoiling a lot of stuff during interviews.
Yeah, that's why they're shut up.
I think there was a theory that after the first once or twice, it became the running joke. So they planned to release tidbits through Tom.
They let him creep it out.
Yeah. While still holding on to that whole Tom gives out spoilers.
Yeah. The other one that was interesting, we talked a little bit about this, was the hold on, we have a quick question for the audience before I go there. Who was the main character in Avengers Endgame? Whose story are you following the most? I would have to say the rat from the storage trailer. That just really, if you think about it, that rat literally saved the universe.
Oh yeah.
So I think honestly, it's kind of his story, much like the Star Wars trilogy was the story of R2-D2 and C-3PO. No, I'm joking. I don't have a clue. I couldn't pick one character whose story arc it was.
Yeah, for Endgame, it isn't one person's story ever. But in terms of who do you feel was the most developed Marvel character in the arcs? The entire arc?
In the entire arc?
Yeah.
I would have to say Robert Downey Jr.'s character. I would pick.
I think Thor, honestly. I liked where he started. From where he started to where he ended, he had this amazing up and down of real life.
Yeah.
He developed. He acted like a king. He got spiraled into depression, and he ends up, just realizing he has to do his own thing. He can't rule like this. He can't do anything. It's perfect.
I think it is an amazing arc for that character, for sure.
Yeah. On the bright side, his isn't done, technically.
No, it isn't. It's going on to Guardians of the Galaxy 3. They have said he's going to be in that. Him and Rabbit. Which I love the fact that they were calling him Rabbit all the way through the movie.
I also like that he can see Groot and he calls him Tree, so that's his name.
Yep.
Beating up Fortnite kids. I like that.
Yeah, that was awesome. I actually, after watching the movie, I had never played. I think I played Fortnite once, and I really had no idea what I was doing. I'm only just now starting to get into the online multiplayer shooters, I went and I played Fortnite again, or watched someone who actually knows how to play Fortnite on a Twitch stream, and it was really interesting watching them be able to build and do stuff.
Oh, it's stupid. It's like Minecraft and shooting at the same time.
Yeah.
We're deviating a little bit, but I started playing Mordhau recently.
That one's nice.
That one is brutally hard, but a lot of fun and very satisfying when you get to it. Medieval combat simulator.
Yeah.
We went to, Kelly and I went to the Twitch meetup last week, and we talked to a number of people about some Minecraft mods, and one of the guys is planning to start streaming, and I'm sorry viewers, I don't remember his name, but he's planning to start streaming one of the Minecraft mods where basically I think it's like Satisfactory or something, where you start on a planet with like a pristine planet and you start terraforming and colonizing it. And
Delinia might know that one if
she's still watching.
I'm sure she's still watching.
Okay. Don't start. Or don't. But everyone watches it differently. Oh, we have a new follower. Vitson something or other is following us. Thank you for joining us, Vitson. Vitson's Got Kids apparently has started following us.
Yay.
Oh, I think I know who Got Kids is. I play Pokemon with them occasionally.
Oh, I read it. Yeah, okay.
Okay, so here's the question I will ask. I think was Thanos right?
No.
Okay, so you're just gonna flat out say no.
Well, I'll wait till
Justin.
No.
No. I am with the cravat that he kills 50% of the universe randomly, but in a way where one person's death will not result in the deaths of multiple people. So, for example, the snap can't kill pilots.
But it did.
I'm not saying it didn't. I'm just saying if we were to add that cravat to the snap, I would say yes. I think ultimately overpopulation and everything else that happened on Titan is a huge issue globally and everything else. And I think it's one of the only ways to really resolve it at this point in many ways, short of colonizing. It's true.
It also only delays the inevitable. Somebody mathed out that it would only take about 30 years for population to go back to where it was.
Yeah.
Which is not a lot of time.
No, it really
and
isn't.
Could even be less if people were like, I got to reproduce.
Yep.
The only thing that somebody pointed out as well is like, okay, so it's been 5 years. And that whole 5 year span has a ton of issues. But the kicker is, in 5 years, humanity has moved on. Okay?
Yep.
Which means that they are now producing food for half the population.
Yep.
And now you just...
Undid it.
Okay, so now we have twice the population and we're now down to a quarter. Okay, we are in trouble now.
Yeah, now we're in some serious trouble.
But what was amusing was like birds came back, and I thought it was like half of intelligent life. So birds coming back means that like it meant the deer went away and other things, but trees didn't.
Yeah,
and that's life, but it's not. It's the weird thing.
There had to be a line somewhere, I suppose.
Yeah,
but yeah.
But so like on the bright side, yeah, I guess the population has doubled again, and that means that like at least there will be more game and cows and things like that.
Yeah.
Which won't destroy the population, but there's definitely going to be a famine.
I agree. Yeah, no, I think the logistics behind undoing the snap in the way they did. I think it's going to cause them a ton of problems for the rest of the movies, and I think ultimately that the way they did it is going to be forgotten.
Yeah.
Because when we think about this, right? The next movie we have is Far From Home. Okay? We've already seen trailers for Far From Home, so we know that Tom Holland's character, Peter Parker, is back in school. He's back in school with the same students, so
So they didn't gain 5 years.
They have not aged 5 years. So all we can assume is that randomly that entire Skrull's fingers got snapped and killed.
Mm-hmm.
It is so recent to the events from Endgame that Peter's still actively mourning. From what we're seeing in the trailers, assuming the trailers are real.
Yeah.
So that means that these people have come back to life after being gone for 5 years, and they're just, it's Monday, I'm going to school. I mean, really? The rest of your family doesn't want you to do things with them?
So
you don't have, like...
They didn't age in those 5 years?
No.
Really? Okay.
No, because
I thought they were in something, because, like, Spider-Man was saying, like, I was with everybody else who, like, got, like, with Doctor Strange and all that. He's like, I was with Mr. Strange, and we were trying to get out. And
yeah.
Yeah, like, so it sounded like they were beamed somewhere else, or maybe they were in, like, a heaven or a hell kind of thing.
Yeah. I don't know.
In the comics, they're in the Soul Stone, correct?
Yeah, in the comics, they're basically, if I recall, put into the Soul Stone.
Oh.
Yeah.
But it sounded like they were still alive, but somewhere else.
But that was proof her back. That was after they poof her back. Okay, I think he's talking. Shadow Phoenix is sort of saying that them coming back happened after, and he was with his doctor and everything after they were snapped back to life.
Okay.
Poofed. All right. Okay, so disappointments. How we talked a little bit. Final thoughts on Avengers Endgame, folks.
It was good.
Yeah.
Ultimately, like I was saying at the beginning, it's a satisfactory ending to a very long saga.
Yeah.
It
could have been really bad.
They did all of the movies justice. Yeah. They treated them in a way that was really exciting, really enjoyable, and the storylines weren't lost or forgotten.
Mm-hmm.
The rat was a star.
And the rat was a star. Yes. It was, like Shadow Phoenix just commented, it was an amazing experience for them all in all to put it together. Your hero's comment of, I want to thank them for taking us on the ride, right? I mean, it was an amazing, what was it, 10, 15 years that we've been watching these movies now.
Gosh.
How many billions of dollars have we made? And, they knew their audience. They tapped into the right aspects of the comics and brought them to life in a way that's exciting.
Mm-hmm.
I'm looking forward to seeing, we still have one more movie in Phase 4. Spider-Man is the last of the Phase 4 series. Is it Phase 4 or Phase 3? Phase
3,
4?
I think.
The last of this phase is Spider-Man.
Mm-hmm.
I don't remember what number it is, but we've got one more after this, and then we start the next series, which we're looking... we're already hearing more Black Panther, we're hearing a Doctor Strange sequel, we're hearing rumors of an Eternals saga movie, which looks really interesting.
Mm-hmm.
They made a ton of money off it, which was great. I don't fault them for doing that. And they did some awesome things for the story. And some of the behind the scenes stories that you hear after the movies are done are pretty amazing. Like the Captain America scene at the end that we were talking about earlier. When Chris Evans knew what was happening in that scene,
Mm-hmm.
but the actor who plays Fulton didn't.
Oh.
So he's like, "Oh, are you ready?" And he's like, "Ready for our scene today?" And he's like, "Well, yeah, it's just a part of the wedding or whatever, right, or something." And he's like, no, this is a big scene. He had no idea. Chris Evans literally had to let him in on the secret, right?
Oh, man.
I'm excited to see where it goes. I'm curious how Falcon will handle Captain America's mantle. I would personally, the one movie I'd love to see is a final Captain America movie dealing with that alternate timeline where he lived, right? And I'm just gonna, you guys, because neither of you are comic book readers, you might not get this reference. The scene in the past where they're at the SHIELD base.
Yep.
And he's standing on the window listening to Peggy talk to this other person about the person that was missing.
Yep.
Did you hear the name that they used?
No, I missed
Brian Braddock.
it. Brian Braddock.
Which probably doesn't mean anything to any of you.
It's
He's Captain
from-
Britain.
Oh. Okay then.
That Brian Braddock is Captain Britain's real name.
Nice.
And that's who they were talking about. So I'm hoping for a Captain Britain, which has some amazing storylines in there. So
Nice.
All right. Should we all wave?
Wave. Yay!
Spoilers are done. We're not talking about Endgame anymore.
Except
I couldn't believe that Luke was his father. All right. Last major topic for the night before we circle back around to some Keycon. So if you guys have any more Keycon questions, throw them out for us and onto the chat. We'll bring them up. Last topic for the night, though, is Detective Pikachu. I've seen it. I loved it. We're going to talk about this as best as we can without spoilers.
what else can I say other than go see it then?
Yeah.
Jeez. Oh man. Apparently it's still in the box office numbers. It's still lost to Avengers and Avengers third.
It was close,
but it deserves a little more. It was heartfelt, and it was I loved the levels of cheese it had, and
the emotions that it instilled in the movie. If Avengers Endgame wasn't a 21 movie saga that had tie-backs to it, I almost say Detective Pikachu as a standalone movie instilled more emotions than Avengers Endgame did for me. Avengers Endgame, I cried, I cheered, I laughed, I didn't really tear up. There are moments in Detective Pikachu where I was like, oh my god, that can't happen. No, stop. Right?
Yeah, it was super, just it tugged on the heartstrings, and for people who know Pokemon, seeing the real life-ish renditions of these Pokemon that you played the games on, you dealt with them, they were good.
Yeah,
they were so good.
Yeah, and they for the most part didn't look cartoonish.
No.
We've all seen the Bulbasaurs in the trailer.
Mm-hmm. That
but
would be the least realistic.
Those were literally the least realistic of all of them. I'm sorry, Luna. You know what? You're free to go on Sunday if you want. That's perfectly fine. I can't think of 3 other people that will strongly object to that. I honestly, it was the Pokemon movie I wanted it to be, in every way.
Mm-hmm. And honestly, it was such a refreshing take from what the regular Pokemon formula is, where it's like, oh, you got to be the very best, like no one ever was, and you got to go do the tournaments. No, we're stepping away from that entirely. It's in there, it's visible, but it's not the story. And I love that too, because it's like, no, Pokemon's got that. It's
covered.
The game, in every single version of the game, it's got it.
Yeah.
This is refreshing.
And it really wasn't about catching them all, right? It was like, you had a Pokemon, and this was a Pokemon, almost like, Ash and Pikachu. Mm-hmm. You had and from the cartoons, you had a Pokemon that you partnered with.
Yeah.
Right, and that was kind of where it went. It was, it was the big one, right? It was, I was super excited when I first saw the trailer for it. It did not disappoint. Mm-hmm. I can't think of any moment in that movie where I went, oh my god, this is dumb. This is a kid's movie or anything else. It was there. It was
also because we got to it opening weekend. We totally got the special packs of Pokemon cards.
I've got 3 in my car.
we had 4 because we brought both the kids, and we got a good collection. And I liked how those cards had the cinematic versions of graphics. I was like, oh, that's so pretty.
Yeah.
It's so nice.
It was just, everything about it was really good. I can't speak highly enough about this movie, as a diehard kid who grew up playing or reading Marvel Comics.
John Wick.
Yes.
Yeah, no. As a diehard fan, I couldn't believe how important and how good it was.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so
yes, your hero bringing up John Wick.
your hero just brought up John Wick. I am so excited for that.
And it's this weekend, and
I'm
not gonna be able to see it this weekend.
I will be honest. There was a part of me that was tempted to see if there was like a midnight showing on Thursday or something, just because I have loved the John Wick series. That is such an amazing saga.
My dad, who by the way is also getting married this weekend at the
At
convention. I didn't get to say all the fun things. We'll get back to that. But
We'll circle back around.
My dad, I was like, John Wick 2 is coming out. He's like, yeah, Jen and I were gonna go see it. We were thinking about seeing it on Netflix or something, and we just never got around. I'm like, you haven't seen John Wick yet? He's like, nah. So I sat down with him right then and there. I was like, no, we are watching this right now. And we watched John Wick. Like for me, it'd be like my fourth time.
John Wick 2 I've only seen once. And that was only like 2 months ago.
Oh,
but
we finished. But we finished it, and Dad looks at me and he goes, so you say John Wick 2 is coming out right away? I'm like, yes. He's like, okay, I guess I know what I'm doing.
Yeah, it is... I am a huge fan of, and as much as I hate to say, I say I'm a huge fan of him, but I don't remember his name. Ian McCollum. He plays the hotel concierge.
Yes. Yeah.
To me, he is Lovejoy from an old TV show that was like an antique mystery hunter type character, and his name was Lovejoy, and that's to me. I see him in the new Hellboy movie. I see him in John Wick. It's like, oh, it's Lovejoy. I love Lovejoy. He's great.
He's still Deadwood to me.
I never watched Deadwood, so I didn't know that one.
You know what? I didn't finish Deadwood, but like the episodes that I watched were just he just spat out just beautiful poetry in that.
That's awesome. He's just such a good actor. I mean, even in a terrible movie like the remake of not Death Wish, the driving car killing people movie. Where he was in prison and he was like the boss in prison
with Jason Statham.
Yeah. Someone from Hot Chat, tell us the name of this movie because I'm forgetting it. They've made like 6 of them. Death Race.
Death Race, yeah.
I was thinking Death Wish, Death something.
I thought you were right there. Yeah.
But yeah, it's an amazing. He's an amazing actor and does so well in so many things. Your hero. Just a quick note. Thank you for that message. I was trying to figure that out. I'm not going to say what it was because it was a private message to me, but I want you to know that it was helpful. Okay. John Wick 3, we must see. Yes, we all agree. It was beautiful. It was brilliant.
Monday.
If you are not part of the WPGSF group on Facebook, stop by and join it. There will be a question next week, and I'll give you a little hint about it in advance. Who is the best action hero of our genre?
Oh.
And the reason that question came up is I read an article about the answer being Keanu Reeves.
Oh.
And I'm like, oh, wait a minute. And I thought about it, and if you look at his body of work, it's hard to make the argument. He has played the bumbling FBI agent.
Yep.
In like the original Point Break movie. He's played the chosen one.
Yeah.
He's played the assassin on a vengeance kick. He's done all of these roles, and they're not all the same.
Nope.
Right? They're so diverse. They're so spread out. And then when you throw it on top of all of that, he's played Hamlet in Winnipeg. Right, he's played, Bill and Ted, he didn't play both of them, I suppose. But he played right, he's done so many other things, but he's still that amazing action movie guy in his, I think he's in his 50s. And if half the stuff you read online about how he is in real life is true, he's a pretty amazing guy. Mm-hmm. It's not uncommon to hear rumors of him, buying a fleet of motorcycles for the stunt staff on a movie shoot.
There's an entire subreddit called Keanu Being Awesome, which is just the cool shit that he does. It's amazing.
All right, so we are at an hour at this point. We're going to wrap the John Wick, Brightburn, Godzilla, and X-Men Dark Phoenix all back-to-back weeks.
If there's one thing that 2019 has done, it has made it really hard to avoid the theaters. It has been a banger year for like.
It really has.
You want to go to the movie theaters? Oh wow!
Godzilla looks phenomenal. Although I must admit, I was a little surprised to see a trailer for that in Pikachu Detective. Oh, did you hear about the movie theater?
Horror movie theater.
There was a movie theater in, I think it's in the States, that showed for Pikachu Detective instead they showed, what was that, the Mexican horror movie?
Yeah.
La Lenore or something, and I don't remember the name.
Wasn't that Quebec?
I don't remember. I thought it was in the States. You are right. D-Bots for Godzilla might just be in the cards.
Never done it. No.
I've done one movie in D-Bots and it was a lot of fun.
Okay. Good to know.
I wouldn't do it everywhere else, but yeah, it was fun. I don't know Brightburn off the top of my head. X-Men Dark Phoenix. I'm terrified. I'm excited all at the same time. I remember reading the original saga. I've seen how badly they did it in X-Men 3. So I'm a little terrified, but we'll see what happens and we'll watch it. They've done okay with their reboots, I think. All right. Anything else you guys want to talk about movie-wise? Good. All right. So let's jump back here. All right. So Detective Pikachu. Last but not least, I'm going to talk quickly about. We're going to switch back to Keycon for a minute. I need to talk a little bit about Keycon Questiver. I am one of the 2 Questivers that you will see floating around the convention. You will see us with, if you haven't seen them already, because I forgot to get it down earlier. You will see us with these giant question marks on our head. We have put out a quest already, and there will be a limited number of prizes for them. They are our Keener badges. So, in the days leading up to Keycon, post a picture of what you are doing to prep for and get ready for Keycon to social media, and hashtag it Keycon Life, and just hashtag Keycon Life, and hashtag it now GTFN, which is Games from the North. We will see those online. If you just do Keycon Life, that's fine, because that's what we told you in the first place. And we'll be looking for those out there. And yes, Shadow Phoenix, I'm pretty sure you did. You were one of the first ones to do it. So if you find me or Kelly at Keycon on the opening day, we will have one of these for you, waiting there with your name on it. Well, it won't have your name on it, but you can write it on, I suppose, if you want. We also have 2 other quests that you'll see people wearing special buttons for. So all told, before we get into I'll just show off the 2 special buttons for it. I'm not going to tell you what they're for, but if you see people wearing those buttons, they are taking part in a quest in some way, shape, or form. We have 8 different quests. You can do them throughout the weekend. The first 4 will be available on Friday, and then on Saturday, all of them will be available. When you complete the first 4, you will get one of these. A Journeyman Quester badge. And if you complete all 8, you will get one of these. An Elite Quester badge. Each quest you complete will also get you entered in to win basically like social type prizes. We have 5 different prize packs. Those prize packs have all been posted to, or either have been or will be posted to our Instagram page for Games from the North. And they range in, well, you can see the pictures. I will say one of them is a copy of Pandemic Legacy Season 1. There's other games, there's other Nerf stuff going on. So yeah, definitely you want to make sure you complete the quests. They're worthwhile. They will take you all over the convention. They will help you meet strange and exciting new people. And we might even spend some time filming you doing them. And streaming it, too. So we might pick a couple people and say, hey, start the quest, and we're going to stream you as we do it, right? And have some fun with that. We also have some extra fun swag for the kids, if some kids get involved, so they're getting stuff right away. All in all, it will be an amazing weekend. Fun and exciting quests. Any closing thoughts from you, Justin, on Keycon? You're excited? Are you scared?
Yeah.
Are you nervous?
A little nervous. Just to meet new people, and excited.
And excited?
Yeah. And it'll be fun to do our stream out there, too.
So if you see Justin, that guy right there, walking around the convention, this will be his first time there. Okay? So make sure you say hi to him. And
Don't worry, this isn't the first time we've singled somebody out.
it really isn't.
Yeah.
Joy.
Joy.
Oh,
I
God.
haven't seen her in forever. She pipes up on my feed every so often.
Oh, yeah.
And I bump into her occasionally at Gen Con.
She came from
Thunder Bay.
Ontario. Yeah, like so we were like in opening ceremony, like, is Joy here? And then like it was amusing. we made memes of it. And
Yeah.
I had it on the awesome room along the wall. Like, are you Joy? No, really, are you?
Like we were trying to find Joy.
You just knew this person was brand new to this.
Yeah, she was new to the convention. She came back for several years afterwards.
Yeah.
That's fun.
And she's active in the community down there, from what I've heard. So, any final thoughts on Keycon from you, or anything else, Colin?
Oh yeah, I there's a lot that I could talk about that I could bring up, but you said we're a little bit pressed for time.
No, we're not.
No.
We can keep going if we want.
Well, let's see. What was the other thing? Okay, so the other thing I'm running, in terms of like roundtables. Roundtables are great, like just a great discussion panel overall. We have a lot of them that are coming up. Like the MCU panel is a big one. Where do we go from here? The Game of Thrones, The Last Small Council. We had worries that it wasn't going to be in a big enough room because it is happening on Sunday, like a few hours before the finale, and it's like, oh, okay. So it's going to be in Ambassador B, the second biggest room that we have, and I'm worried it's going to be crowded.
Yeah, it might be.
I feel like we're gonna have to figure out a solution for like letting people actually have a round table where people get to talk.
Talking sticks.
Yeah, effectively. I'm hosting one for Bloodlines 2 because they're making a Vampire the Masquerade Bloodlines 2 game, and the first one was a masterpiece that just had its issues, but it was still a wonderful game, and number 2 is looking to be pretty darn exciting, so I'm gonna have a big roundtable discussion about that and hope people join. Yeah, there's so much, and like I said earlier, there's a wedding happening at the same time as the social start, so if this dancing is your thing, great, but if you want to see a couple of
Amazing
old
people.
nerds get hitched,
Hey, they're amazing people. Let's not age them.
Yes. Yeah. My dad, we finally convinced him to go to the convention not too many years ago. Yeah. And it just brought him out into like nerddom. He was always a little nerdy, but he never really expressed it. And now he's out there. And his fiance Jen, she was the quest giver
last year.
And she's just jumped in both feet to like do amazing things at the convention. So it's going to be really exciting to have them paired up and finally married after like 10 years.
I won't share my favorite story of your dad at the convention.
It's not PG.
No, it's totally PG, but it might be embarrassing for him. And Delina and Got Kids, and Jennifer, if you're out there watching, you know exactly what story I'm thinking of.
I think I know which one now.
He stayed in the room to watch a TV show.
Yes.
Yeah. But from what I understand, it was important, and she did say yes in the end. So
Yes.
that's as far as I'll go with that.
Yeah, like it's just going to be a good time. For the things that I want people to try and volunteer for, because there's tons of other things happening. Writer's Idol. If you are an aspiring artist, author, and you have like the start of a novel that you want to, have people judged on, we have like writer guests of honor and others coming in, and they'll treat it kind of like American Idol, where like they'll hit the buzzer when they want you to stop reading, but somebody else will read your works, your anonymous works, for you. That's the best part, is that because it's anonymous, you can sit in the crowd, someone can read it, and you can just bite your tongue, and then hear honest critique, and it's super good. So that is something people need to sign up for. Blue Pencil sessions are one-on-one discussions with Gerald Brandt, and he will be, and they're like 15-minute sessions to critique your work more intimately.
And there's also some one-on-one type sessions for artists as well.
That one is pseudo one-on-one.
Okay.
Lee Moyer is doing a panel, a portrait of words.
Art appreciation for artists, I guess.
There's about 8 portfolios maximum, but he said it's better to be as a learning experience if everyone shows up, and if stragglers come in to watch, and that's great for them. Like Lee is going to be an amazing guest.
Yeah.
He's been there before, and it's just going to be so exciting to see his work in there. What was the other? There was another thing that I wanted people to sign up for, or just attend to. I've lost it. No,
it's programming. Just attend programming.
Yes, attend programming.
And when you get to the convention, one of the things you'll likely get is a program book. Look at it before the convention. Don't put it on your shelf and look at it a week from now. Look at it when you get there. Start marking the things that you want. Sketch. Download Sketch.
Yes, the app is actually very useful. I remember the other thing.
What
Masquerade. That's kind of important. Masquerade signups happen on Friday. And I think they'll usually accept some last-minute entries all the way up to the Masquerade pre-judging that happens on Saturday. And the pre-judging is blocked for 2 hours, and then we move to the Masquerade itself. Show off a costume. Honest, it's super great, and it's a lot of fun. I did it last year. I dressed up as my cyberpunk, Rocksteady Bebop hybrid.
Yeah, you had a great costume.
I called him Gorgeous, and I talked with a goofy accent, and it was fantastic. I was going to bring the wig for today, but I didn't do it.
I'm really glad.
And it was a lot of fun. It's not as judgmental as you might think it is. People have a lot of fun watching you do your thing, and you get a lot of experience out of it. I strongly recommend joining any costume contest. That was the other thing, yes.
We just had a quick question if there's anywhere you can download the program book now. I'm having a quick look at the program at the website, and I don't see it.
Mm-hmm.
I know some years it's been made available in advance. Other years it has not.
I don't think you can yet.
You know what? I will...
we will try and get that fixed before the convention starts.
We will look into that. I will actually fire off a message to someone right now. Is a PDF of the program book
Delinea in chat
on the line
was the publisher this year. It would have been neat to have a more dynamic last minute, but it was like every time we had to make a change, she said it was like a tumbling Tetris blocks, Jenga, whatever you want to call it, everything that makes it messy. Every time you tried to change something, it was like, and then it was another 6 minutes.
I've been involved in doing the... okay, from Sean Ennis, we have been told that nope, it is not.
Okay.
Okay, thanks, Sean.
And there's going to be you're going to get the actual program book, and I can already tell you there's at least 7 or 8 scheduling items from the program grid that are completely wrong. So the most up-to-date thing will be on Sketch. From this point on, I've updated Sketch as I get changes. So getting the app is really good. Going to the website is really good. That's where you're going to get the most up-to-date stuff. I'm also going to have our giant 6-foot grids on 12 and 15, they are going to have marker marks all over them at the start. And hopefully I only have to do it once.
Fair enough. Give me 1 second here. I am gonna Keycon.org. Okay, so I am gonna steal some cameras from people here, and as a viewer, as a person, I am just gonna steal this one. All right, that is my phone. Let's close that out. All right, so you can see my phone here. We are on the Keycon website. I am taking off the stream video.
So that's the program, Sketch.
All right, so where are we here? So you can click here to for your schedule during the long weekend. Is that new people see that? No. There we go.
Launcher is amazing if you want
Yeah.
to replace your thing.
Yeah, I
So we just click on that.
So
As always, subject to change. See the most up to date. And I want.
Not there.
Yep, there it is.
So I want to set up see the most up to date dirt on sketch.org. Is that?
And if you had an account,
that.
although I think if you set it for an account, there would be like a little check mark.
So we just click install.
somewhere, and you could say, "Oh, yeah, I want to attend this."
Oh, okay.
Like it shows you all the attendees. You could add yourself to that.
Okay.
All right.
Cool.
So I'm just quickly downloading this.
So what time does it start on Friday? Like when's the opening ceremonies? And
6 o'clock.
6.
Right
Oh,
there.
yeah, right there.
It's right in front of you.
Yeah. So 6. Okay. All right.
Yeah, and there's a newbie dinner that's starting at 5.
5, yeah.
Okay.
Give me just a minute here, folks. I'm just going to quickly open this up. 'Cause I don't.
Ooh, I can watch your phone from my
Yeah,
phone.
you can watch your phone on my phone. Search for an event. So I want to search for Keycon? Or is there a special code?
No, just Keycon. It'll come up as Keycon 36.
So we search for Keycon 36, click on it. And that is everything. And as you know, I can wear and tear the art show. So I'm interested in this. So I'm going to click on that. Almost Super is a new comedic non-contact live action RPG from the minds of Goodly Beard Games' very own Doc Wilson. I could sign in. I haven't yet, so I'm going to have to sign up for this, but I will be adding myself to it shortly. Okay, and you can see who's already checking it out and who's attending. All sorts of awesome things on there. So we will switch back around, put the camera back on the people it should be on.
We've lost Justin to the sketch.
We've lost Justin to sketch.
That's okay.
All good. All right.
All right, folks. Final thoughts. We've gone over a little more, but anything else we want to add? I know, Justin, you're lost to sketch now.
No, I'm back.
You're back. Okay, we found your way back from sketch. And yeah, hopefully Shadow Phoenix. I hope that helps. It'll help me because I know I'll be going through it shortly. Who knows? Maybe we'll bump into each other at the con and we can compare programming notes.
And I guess it'll be nice to have a live crowd of Geek Chat.
Yeah.
It'll be fun.
We hope to see people here who are listening now. Stop by on Saturday. Join us for a live Geek Chat because it'll be really boring if people don't.
For last thoughts, there's been some changes to the code of conduct. There's been a lot of other things that have happened recently to make things better.
Yep.
The one thing that we need to just, I think there's last details, is just visibility of staff. So I think some of us are using buttons.
Yes.
Yes.
We actually showed off the buttons
Yes.
last week.
Yeah.
You will see buttons that have little gears on them that indicate people are part of operations. Operations are the staff that keep the con running.
Mm-hmm.
You will see some red buttons with a white cross on them. That means they're first aid certified or first aid trained. I don't know exactly how that's...
So what you're saying is, even though I'm partially staffed, if I don't have a button, I'm free?
Oh, you'll have a button. You're just like me, Colin. I don't need a button because I'm staff. It doesn't matter what I do, who's running the convention. If something's going wrong, you and I are going to try and help as ever we can, right?
And that's what we want to try and stress. If you need help, find somebody who has some sort of identifier as staff. We are glad to help you. A lot of us have a decent amount of training in one way or another. I have an unfortunately expired first aid. It's only been like 2 months expired. It's fine.
So don't get first aid treatment from Colin.
Exactly. But like, we also have some basic trauma training and some other stuff to like just try and help people get through what they have. So what we're saying is, if you got problems, come to us. We will try our best to make sure that you don't have a miserable time.
If you've got problems, while we might not be able to solve them, we can help you cope with them or get you to somewhere where you can get that.
And the hope is that you will never have to use those services.
Yep. But we want them to be there in case you do.
Yeah.
So if you're uncomfortable, something's happening, look for someone with an ops badge. Operations badge. Ops is the short word for it. Shadow Phoenix, you've got CPR and first aid too. Good. If you find me, I will make sure you're on the list of people who have that, and maybe you can help if need be with a first aid badge.
Have you heard the phrase voluntold? You're going to learn it.
If you haven't, you're going to. So places, if you're feeling uncomfortable or unsafe, talk to someone wearing one of those badges. Go to registration on the 12th floor, or go to operations on the 15th floor. Those are obviously safe. I don't want to say obviously, but those are safe spaces. And if the person there can't help you, they can get someone who can. Mm-hmm. Okay, guys.
Apparently, your hero is going to give me a high five when he sees me.
All right, your hero's an awesome guy. All right, thank you everybody for watching. We hope to see you on Saturday. Actually, we hope to see you all weekend long. Have a great time, and what are you doing watching us still? Shouldn't you be packing? Good night, everyone.
Good night.